Now that we've found a good tree, we're going to show you how to set the trap. Now this is the big thing. This is where everyone goes wrong. Even the professionals I've seen learn something off this. This is how most people have it. But the trouble is, the possum can pull his foot out, break his leg like this, or this chain can get wrapped around his leg, break it, or pull it out. So what you do is you have it up the tree further like this. So there's back legs in there. He's got a bit of movement. He can go up the tree, but he can't pull it that hard up the tree. He can go down here, but he can't. He can get a bit of movement, but not too much movement. Also, if you're using raised sets, you want to have it on this side here. You don't want to have it going underneath the trap. It's better out here, out of the way. So you give them a little bit of chain like that. And so nail it onto here. That's the other thing, is don't nail it tight. Let them have a little bit of looseness here, or you end up with the same trouble. It will wrap around like this and it might break off. So it's better with a little bit of movement. Then we get our nails, put them about here like this. You learn about where to put them after a while, how far to hit them in. Well, that looks pretty good. Then what you want is this lure right behind in there. The reason you do it now is because the trap's not set, and that way you can put your hand in here without worrying about the trap being set. Then just set the trap as you would, put it onto the nails, and then bend it down a little bit like that. This may have been better around a little bit further, but you want it so that it can come off. Enough to stay on there, enough tension to stay on there, so that once you catch the possum, bang, it pulls off. If it stays there, the possum will probably get out. And that's it, all done. Maybe tie a bit of pink tape up, you got some. And that's how it's done. Got the old red bands on today. Bit of a change. Little bit of lure around the trap. I'm up in here. Ready to go. Traps. These gin traps were banned in 2009, so you're not allowed to use them anymore. But the jaws look pretty wicked, but they're not as strong as some of these new number ones as what you'd think. Yeah, don't try this at home, but I think that doesn't matter what sort of traps you use, these or what sort of number ones you use, I mean, you owe it to the possum to get your butt out of bed early in the morning and get round them. if you're a professional and you've got lots set, you've got 12 hours to check them from daylight, but you still should get out of bed as early as you can and go out to the possum to do that. To be humane as you can. Yeah. Alright, how's it going? If you want to catch lots of possums, what you need is lots of traps. But you have to be able to find these traps. The best stuff to use is flagging tape here. And a GPS. GPS is good, but if you don't mark the waypoint in of the trap, you won't find it. So that is why the flagging tape is extra good. Or, if you like recycling and stuff, you can use this a few times, but you can buy these on Trade Me for 57 cents and use them over and over and over. Also good. One thing that does worry me when I watch YouTube is kids setting these traps, and they can only set them with their feet, and setting them up the trees a bit. If they get caught with their hand in it and not being able to get their feet on it, they'll be stuck there. Kids, if you're watching this, just put the chain down the bottom so you've got somewhere flat to be able to get your feet onto it. Don't put the chain up the tree, and because if you can't get your feet on there and you get your hand caught in it, you can only go one side, you can't do both sides. When I was a kid, it was all gin traps. Oh, this bad boy. But it only took one side. If you got your hand caught in there, you only had to get one side out. It wasn't so bad. Yeah. The other thing I see on YouTube is people that go for the weekend and set 20 traps. You should set 30 traps because you're only there for a couple of days. It could be lots of possums. Just set a big tree, just set one on either side. Probably takes just as long to set 30 traps as it does to set 20 traps. Increase the odds, more production. Well, that's it for this bit.